Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Between the Covers. I am your host, Jeffrey Yorio, and I thank you for your time and your ear. Today's reading is from the book club, Smoky Mountain Retreat by Elisa and Pratt. The paperback will be available on November 29th. The ebook is currently available. The perk of the coffee maker sounds, letting me know that it's ready. Through the kitchen window, I see my boyfriend, Dan, standing outside talking with the crew as they plan their next step in our renovation. Dan stands at 6 feet tall, dark hair, warm, honey brown eyes I honestly could melt right into. Handsome is an understatement, as far as I'm concerned. I'll never forget the first time I met him at the county fair. We were both waiting in line at the kettle corn stand. I was so engaged in what we were talking about, I let the person who was standing behind me go ahead so we could finish our conversation. Even then, it didn't occur to either of us to exchange numbers. I thought I'd lost him for good until fate brought us together again somewhere else. But that's an entirely different story we'll get to later. We've been dating just over a year now, and things have grown serious between us. After 10 years of thinking the only men I need in my life were my sons, I finally embraced the idea of opening up to love again. Dan has spent a great deal of time proving to me that I'd made the right decision in giving him a chance. I pulled a couple of mugs down from the cabinet to prepare our coffees. Dan likes his coffee light and sweet, whereas I prefer my own with just a touch of cream. We've been staying at the B&B for 4 days now, trying to get everything situated with the construction crew. The place really isn't too bad to begin with. It just needs some paint, and we decided to have the floors redone on the main floor for now. We're also replacing the beds with new mattresses, and the ones that are here now are nearly 12 years old. The frames are all made of solid oak, so we're keeping them all as they relish in the charm of the house. We've also decided to renovate the back deck since it's so big and basically sold us on the property to begin with. We're adding a bar and replacing the old hot tub with a new one, as the present one is small and on its last leg. With both coffee mugs warming each hand, I step outside to a cool, crisp morning air and the sound of a buzzsaw ringing in my ear. I prefer my mornings quiet, and I'm really looking forward to them when everything is done. At 50 years old, I'm semi retired. My current job served its purpose in the beginning. I started out full time at our local pharmacy, but with my new supervisor micromanaging everyone, I had to cut my hours down to part time for my own sanity. All I really want to do is write my stories anyway. The income we will generate from the B&B will allow me to finally quit the job I've come to loathe once and for all. Sorry to interrupt, guys. Here's your coffee, babe, I say while handing Dan his steamy mug. There's more inside if anyone is interested, I offer to the crew. I'll take you up on that, one of the guys replies as he excuses himself from the crowd. Me too, another says before following in his footsteps. There's cream and sugar on the counter, I holler out to the men. If you need me to make another pot, just let me know. That's sweet of you, ma'am, but I think we can manage it. Thanks, he shouts back. Before I know it, the entire crew have all taken off inside the house for their coffee break, and I'm left standing here alone with Dan. Well, that was easy, I say, tossing Dan a mischievous smile. What were you guys talking about? I curiously ask. We were just discussing which color to stain the exterior deck, Dan replies as he takes a sip of his coffee. He sets the mug down on the wooden railing to reach into the breast pocket of his brown plaid lumberjack vest. Here are the samples. Which one do you like? Ooh, I really like this cherry wood one. What do you think? Do you like it? I asked. I knew you'd pick that one. It was between that and the blonde for me. You know I'm partial to blondes, he says with a wink in my direction. Yeah, you're right. That would match the front porch better. We should probably keep the same color scheme. I had to agree. You want to go for a little walk? I have a lot to tell you, I ask. Dan looks past me through the kitchen window where we can see the construction crew taking their coffee break. Sure, maybe just a little one. He replies, taking my hand in his as we stroll along together in the frosty chill of the morning. So, it appears my plan is coming together nicely. I begin as Dan and I trek through the wooded area that surrounds our B&B. There are several walking trails that follow out to the creek. It was one of the reasons I fell in love with this property when we first came to check it out. Is that so? He asks, amusement reaching his eyes. It is so, I smiled to myself. All six of the rooms have already been claimed. Well, that was quick, Dan quips. You know, I do like to keep up a fast pace. I wink at Dan as we come to a stop in our walk to admire the beautiful stream of water in flow before us. There were a few ducks splashing in the bath a few yards away from where we are standing. Wow, this is really beautiful, I say as my eyes catch golden rays of sunlight glistening in through the trees, illuminating the school of trout swimming among the rocks of the creek. They're gonna love it here, I continue. You're not gonna believe it, Dan. Five of the claimed spots are from some of my favorite authors. I seriously can't wait to meet them. Dan lovingly looks my way before halting our steps to wrap his arms around me from behind as we take in the nature scene before us. Seeing you excited gets me all excited, if you know what I mean, he says, holding me close to his chest. Well, I laugh. We don't have time for that right now. There's a lot of work to get done today. We have furniture deliveries, and you promised to take me shopping, I say, turning to give him a peck on the cheek. I guess you're right. We really should get back to the guys. He sighs. That's right. You can save your excitement for later on tonight when we do have the time. I return with a wink. So, do you think they have any idea about what they're really planning? Dan asks as we begin our hike back to the B&B to meet up with the crew. Oh, they haven't the slightest clue, and I fully intend on keeping it that way, I reply with a devilish grin. Thank you, and salute.